Hello everyone. Today we will be going over the useful entity, ent_button. Buttons allow the player to send outputs, when pressed, to whatever entity they want. They act very much like doors in a lot of ways. In this video we will cover the properties of buttons and how to use them effectively in your level. Much like doors, you can either specify a model for your button or make it out of hammer mesh. Just like doors, you can specify the movement type. Buttons have moving, rotating, just like doors, but it also has the new not moving. When you select not moving, the button will not move when you press it. For most buttons, you're going to want to stick with the moving and not moving movement type. Moving your button is just like doors. You can adjust the distance and speed. The return speed and reset delay work a little differently on a button. The reset delay will be how long in seconds until the button returns after pushing it. The return speed will be how quickly the button moves when returning. Activation sound and locked activation sound sound exactly like they perform. If the button is activated, this will play. If the button is locked, when you try to activate it, this will play instead. The toggle button will make the button move a little differently. When you activate it, it'll go in one spot, and you'll have to press it again for it to go back to its original spot. The momentary property will change the button to be fully activated when the player holds E until it is fully pressed. This is useful if you're a psychopath. Moving on to activation settings, you go ahead and hit the plus on there. We have use activates. This one's obvious. You press E, it activates. If unchecked, you will not be able to do that. Damage activates. This can be any form of damage reaching the button, whether it be an explosion, a bullet, or a player using a crowbar. Coming on down to the spawn settings, we have two in this category. We have starts locked. If this is enabled, the button will start locked. Non-solid. This one's actually worthless. It does not work right now. It's supposed to make the button walk-throughable, but it does not do that. As with most entities, you can parent a button to any other entity. For example, a door. So if we go ahead, grab the name Joe Door 1, plop it into the parent. Now, when this door opens, the watermelon will rotate with the door as it rotates. Here's a quick demonstration of this in game. If I go ahead and press E on this door, as you can see, the watermelon's going right with the door, no matter what the pivot is. Since buttons require outputs for a lot of their functionality, I'll be going over the different outputs you can use for a button and how to set up a button with an output. To get started with an output for your button, you'll want to go ahead and click the button, click Outputs, click Add, and from here it'll drop down all the different outputs you can use. As we can see here, there are quite a few. On the flip side, let's take a look at some of the inputs you can do for a button. I went ahead and set up the door to target the watermelon. I named it water. Here's the drop down of the inputs. We have lock, unlock, press. It'll simulate it being pressed, and set color. This will be useful if you want to set invisible or change its color. Let's begin the demonstration. As I said, you want to click add, start the output, list down. We'll go ahead on press. That's the most basic one and the one used the most for buttons. Go ahead and click that. Now let's say I want this door to open. All I gotta do is target the entity's name, Joe Door 1, if you'll remember. Via this input, this will determine what it does. As you can see, there's a bunch of different ones. What we're gonna want to do is have it open. So click that. Now let's try it out. Going in game here, we can go ahead and see this button in action. We go ahead and press E on the melon button, and there we go. The door opens just like that. Alright, we have gone through the important stuff you need to know for ent_button. Let's go through some tips and tricks. Starting off, you can make your buttons invisible pretty easily. All you gotta do is go down to color, turn the alpha to 0, just like that, and as you can see, the button is now invisible, but it will still be able to be activated by the player and collided with. If you run into a situation where you can pilot your map, but if you press your button and nothing happens, always make sure use activate is checked and starts locked is unchecked. There will sometimes be situations where you don't want your button to have collisions with the player. To do that, all you have to do is go down the tags and add the debris tag. Go ahead and hit the plus and it'll be added. Now when a player walks through the button, they will be able to walk through it no problem and it will not stop them. Alright, you are officially a button buck. I hope this video is useful for you to figure out buttons, how to put them in your level, and how to use them. I've been Bone from 3 Thieves. Our socials will be below, Discord, website, all that. Have a great day.